Good Sunday evening, gang. Chief Meteorologist Marcus Bailey here. Want to give you an update on what to expect maybe before you're heading off to bed to get ready for this new work and school week. Again, another pretty interesting system heading our way, and as we get a little bit closer and closer, it looks like this is going to be primarily, unfortunately, another snow event for us. Certainly all wintry precipitation. The feeling right now is that any rain is going to be far south of our area. So let's kind of look and see what's going on right now. This is radar. I'm recording this webcast just around 9:30 in the morning. Here's our system that we're watching, and this will continue to move in from the west right here, and it's going to gather up a lot more moisture, and we'll start to get a little bit closer to central Illinois by just in time for the morning drive tomorrow. Now, things look a little bit, if you were watching the webcast earlier today, a little bit more delayed. Not a lot, but a little more delayed as far as the timing goes. But again, I want to stress that the morning drive still has the potential to be tricky. We'll have some of the wintry precipitation, and really all types are in play. Snow, sleet, freezing rain even for a good chunk of our area, especially along and south of Interstate 74. I think you get north of the interstate, then you're going to be maybe just talking about all snow. All right, I'm going to flip over to one of the models here and kind of show you, and we'll get in real tight here to kind of show you what we're expecting, at least what this one particular model is suggesting as we get into the morning hours. So this is at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. All right, and what you're noticing, the oranges and the reds indicating sleet and freezing rain. All right, and this has not changed. What's going to happen is there's going to be temperatures below freezing at the surface, but you go up a little bit higher, you're going to have a wedge of warmer air for a little while. It's not going to be all day, and what happens is you'll have the precipitation, which falls as snow, and then it hits that warmer layer and then melts, becomes liquid, and then depending on how thick or high up the cold air underneath it goes, if it's pretty thick, it will refreeze and change to sleet. If it's not, it will stay as rain, but if the temperatures at the surface are freezing or below, then you have freezing rain. So everything falls as liquid and then it freezes on contact. So we're probably going to see a little bit of both, although we've been leaning more towards maybe sleet than freezing rain, so that would accumulate much like snow for the morning. So again, this is at 6 o'clock and just into our western counties. All right, let's kind of move forward here. This is 7 o'clock in the morning and 8 o'clock in the morning. So here we are, a lot of us already out the door heading into work, pretty close to the Peoria metro area. And again, if this speeds up from this model just a little bit, this is going to create some issues. Obviously, it'll start off light at first, but we'll pick up intensity pretty quickly. And then as we progress into the morning, again, we're going to stay with kind of that frozen mix for a few hours as the initial thinking right now. And then eventually, this is at 9 o'clock in the morning, we're going to see that cold air winning out and up above us, and then pretty much our entire viewing area here is going to make that full transition to snow for the rest of the late morning through midday. This is at noon, so lunchtime, you can see it's all snow, okay? And then we'll continue through the afternoon. We're thinking that wintry precipitation in any form, but it'll mostly be snow for us, should be done by around mid-afternoon. So your evening drive is going to look far better than your morning drive. Just want to kind of give a heads up about that with the potential for some trouble for the morning commute tomorrow. All right, I'm going to flip over here. This is another model that we look at. This is the HRRR. If you've watched a couple of these webcasts, I've referred to this. This is a short range, goes out 15 hours, and it updates every hour. High resolution model. In fact, the HR, the first two, high resolution rapid refresh. That's what the HRRR stands for. So let's take you through time here. And this number here is Eastern time, so you're going to need to subtract an hour. timing is still pretty good on this. This, again, has that frozen precipitation, and this isn't necessarily separating the sleet from the freezing rain. So just do keep that in mind, the purple there. So it doesn't necessarily mean this is just freezing rain. This is sleet. And again, we're thinking for most of us this is probably going to be sleet pellets first. That it only goes right now up to around 8 o'clock in the morning, but you can see here's Peoria and right on us. So again, you know, that morning commute into mid-morning has the potential for being a little bit sloppy. All right, let me see. Let's show you this. This is the advisory page from the National Weather Service in Lincoln, and has our entire viewing area here. Every county under a winter weather advisory, the entire viewing area under that advisory from 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, Monday morning, until 6 o'clock in the evening. All right. Again, we think a lot of the precipitation is going to be out of here by the afternoon, but that's giving a broad range of kind of what to expect there. And this is also from the National Weather Service page. I just snagged this on here because, again, this is pretty much the consistent thinking here. This is a tough forecast. Anytime you deal with changeovers, it can just wreck the forecast because it can take away snow totals. You can add snow totals. If you don't see quite as much sleet as what the models are advertising, it can mean more snow. So this can go either way here. But what we're thinking right now, you see this here, snow and sleet north 2 to 5 inches. Pretty much for the area in blue. But we've kind of narrowed it down that anywhere in this area, so south and west of Interstate 74, into that 1 to 3 inch range with maybe a little bit of freezing rain. And then it's just going to be the sleet and then eventually all snow along and northeast of Interstate 74. And that's where you're going to get probably your 3 to 5 inch range. Again, very dependent on how everything kind of plays out in the morning, how quickly or not quickly we'll see the transition to snow. If we see sleet for a longer amount of time, the snow may not be quite as high. If we make a very fast change over to snow, these numbers may go up just a little bit. We're not going to be talking substantial numbers, but could go up. You could maybe add an inch to some of that. So that's kind of where we stand. Another thing I kind of wanted to show here, and I showed this in the earlier webcast, and I don't typically show a lot of these. These are meteograms that plot various models and their precipitation or the amounts. A lot of times I don't like to show the models because they're just that. They're what we call guidance. We use those to help with our forecast, so they're not 100% accurate all the time, but it does at least give us an indication. You can see all these lines here represent different models. They're not all exactly the same, but you can see the consistency here where you're anywhere between, it goes as low as 1.5 inches, it goes up to almost 4.5 inches. Again, so that's, you know, we're kind of in that range a little bit. This is one that I'll be probably watching through the rest of the evening and overnight, and this is the freezing rain. This green line is from the RAP, so this is a shorter range model, and you can see it's actually kind of shooting up a little bit. And this is for Peoria, so it's thinking maybe a little bit higher as far as the freezing rain goes, maybe up to a little over 1/10 of an inch. So something we'll watch on. Again, we're not thinking that is quite as likely, but worth watching. And then the sleet here is plotted by one of the more recent model runs. This is from the 0Z NAM, North American model is what NAM stands for. And that's putting just over 1/10 of an inch of sleet. So again, a lot of question marks as far as how this one's going to play out. But one thing that we are certain and that we've been wanting to stress is the problems that this will create for the morning drive tomorrow, midday, really throughout the midday. And then even for your afternoon drive home, although visibilities probably won't be as bad. If we're talking, you know, even 1 to 3 inches, but you get into that range from I-74 north of 3 to 5, obviously that's going to be causing some issues. Even if the snow's not falling anymore, you'll have that on the ground, and we already have a ton of snow on the ground already, just adding to it, so that will create some problems for the evening drive as well. So we're going to call it an early night tonight because we want to be up and at 'em early again tomorrow to give you updates on any major changes. And once this thing is almost on us, we're going to have a pretty, well, at least a closer understanding of how this may play out as we head into your morning drive. So that's it for now. Again, 3 to 5 inches along and northeast of Interstate 74. And south and west of 74, 1 to 3 inches. Probably starts off as sleet, maybe some freezing rain first before we see the full transition over to snow. Looks to be arriving in central Illinois anywhere between 7 o'clock to around 9 o'clock, maybe 10 o'clock in the morning from west to east. So that's kind of the bullet points from what you can expect tomorrow. Again, more updates coming. If we have any fresh updates, of course, we'll update you overnight, and we'll have another update for you early tomorrow morning. And of course, meteorologist Carissa Sanford in on WMBD 31 News this morning, so check in with her forecast as well. We'll talk to you soon.